I do feel we may be pushing our luck a little bit.
That is going to be an epic camp spot.
Heck yeah, it is. Look at that. Fingers crossed, no avalanches.
Oh, I agree.
Well, we've already done it, so no choice now.
This isn't good. This was a mistake.
It just adds a little bit of cinematic touch. All right, I am super excited to get into this adventure with you and really share the experience of some rugged West Coast exploring. We went out to Gold River, British Columbia on an epic rugged West Coast trip, and we got into some weather I was not anticipating. We got a couple inches of snow in March, which is pretty rare for the West Coast, but nonetheless, I had a fantastic time. And joining me on this trip was Sean from the Store Till Now and Ryan from Modular Racks.
We have just arrived at the start of this next trip. Just at the trailhead here. We drove about an hour from Campbell River to get here. In the small town of Gold River. And I am with a very familiar face you all probably recognize.
Howdy.
Mr. Sean. So we are gonna go have a good time up in the mountains. Our first goal of the day is actually to try and, well, get to tonight's camp, which is at the back of a, what'd you call it, a big basin?
A bowl?
A bowl, yeah.
Maybe
we'll
a bowl?
At the bottom of a bowl, about 3,000 feet above us. It just peaks around, so it's gonna be a gorgeous camp if we can get to it, as long as there's not too much snow, and that'll kind of give us an indication of how deep the snow is gonna be tomorrow for our adventure out to the coastline. So
Your lens is so dusty.
it's a little bit dusty. It just adds a little bit of cinematic touch.
Once we were finished getting aired down, we started pushing further into the backcountry and further into the backcountry. And once we broke out of the tree line a little bit, and the view opened up, and we just had a vista of mountains all across the front of us. And looking at the map, I could actually almost make out which valley we were actually going to be going up. And from that road, I was blown away. I'm like, that is where we're going. I can't wait to get there. It looked incredible. So we weave down across the river and keep exploring further into the backcountry, following the route I had planned. And the temperature was getting a little bit colder, but the sun did come out, which was fantastic. I was expecting it just to be raining and snowing from what I've seen on the weather, so a little bit of warm sunshine to boost the mood on the trail. I wasn't going to be complaining at all.
Hopefully the sun can actually stay out while we're at camp tonight. That'd be really nice. That is going to be an epic camp spot.
Heck yeah, it is. Look at that.
Dang, that's amazing. Wow. I think that's where the abominable snowman lives.
Fingers crossed, no avalanches.
Now, the closer we got to this mountain range, the more excited I got, because this thing was huge. It was at the back of the valley, and it took up the entire view on the back of the valley with some jagged peaks at the top. So I'm getting super excited. I just can't wait to get there. And my biggest concern getting closer is I hope the road doesn't get too narrow or there's too much snow on the road, because this region did get a little bit of snow a week prior. So we keep pushing onward.
It does look like the road's going to get a little more snow cover covered up ahead.
Yeah, judging by what we got now, I don't think it's going to get too deep where it's going to be a problem. Kick it into four-wheel drive.
Now we get to a spot in the trail where it kind of dips down, and there was someone took a car out there and destroyed it. So I pull up to the car, and the road kind of dipped down, and was a little washed out on the one side. And Sean was a little unsure about it because the snow that we were supposed to get the next day, he didn't want to kind of slide down that hill because the trail B&B weighs a lot. So if you start sliding, there's no stopping it. So I bombed through there, and I got through no problem. And then Sean was trying to get up, and he actually bumped a rock and had to take a couple runs at it. And he finally got it. And so we kept pushing further towards the mountain. And I dart out way ahead and start climbing a bigger hill. And this thing is a full-on shelf road.
Yeah, I don't know how much you're going to want to camp back here. The road starts to narrow out up top, and it keeps climbing.
Yeah, I'm looking in the corner you just went around. What's it like up ahead there? Is there anywhere to turn around?
Turn around this flat spot I'm on.
Yeah, this is a big no-go.
So with the grade that was on the hill and the amount of snow, we really didn't want to be coming down that in the morning and potentially sliding down the hill or sliding off of the shelf road, which is less than ideal. No spot, as beautiful as it is worth dying over. So Sean made the call. He's like, I don't want to be coming back down this in the morning. If he brought the trail destroyer, then by all means we would have been okay, but it is what it is. So we turned around, and at this point in time I hop on the maps and I'm digging around. I'm trying to find somewhere we can go. And we're all just trying to find camp for the night because that was the plan, and it fell through. It happens sometimes. And we bombed around a couple roads. We zoomed up a couple valleys, and everything was dead ending. Nothing seemed promising. Now we got to the back of, there was a valley, and it had two roads that ran on either side of the river to the back. So we went up the left side. We got all the way to the end, and it unfortunately came to a dead end. But I opened up Onyx, which is actually the sponsor of this video. I mapped out this entire route using Onyx. It really is a useful tool if you want to plan a epic weekend getaway and actually know where you're going. And if anything happens, like I'm about to describe, you can use it to quickly reroute where you want to go if you have the offline maps downloaded. And you can salvage the weekend using offline maps with Onyx and still find somewhere epic to camp if the trail that you had in mind isn't what you thought it was, or it won't work out for your plans. So if you want to save 20% on your first elite membership on Onyx, use code GETLOST at checkout and save 20% on that elite membership. Anyways, back into the story.
I'm sure that feels terrifying in the camp.
So we're at the end of the road on the left-hand side, and I could see on Onyx that there was a road on the other side. So I sent the drone up and sent it over to go check it out. And sure enough, there was a really good camp spot at the end, and we would have had a epic view of the mountains back there. So I was like, all right, let's head down there. It's about 5:30, 5 o'clock at this time, so we're trying to get there before dark. So we double back, jump over on the other road, and start heading up it. And it's pretty grown in, but it's not too bad. And everything's pretty flat, so we know we'll be good in the morning. And after a couple turns, we come around the corner, and a boulder has fallen down from above and landed dead center in the middle of the road, which kind of put a damper on the mood. I didn't want to have to turn around again, and neither did Sean. We all just wanted to find camp. We're getting pretty tired at this point in time.
All right, we're working our way up another valley next to where we were earlier, and we came across a fairly decent sized boulder, and I managed to squeeze around on the left hand side here, and I just fit. So Sean's actually gonna ride the ditch and see if he can get through. His ram wouldn't fit over here. So Sean jumps into the ditch, and being that his trail B&B is pretty top heavy, he looked a little concerned in the cab. I'm not gonna lie. He was coming out the window. He's like, man, I'm at 30 degrees here. And we're like, you look good on the outside. You should be okay. So he's slowly bringing his way through the ditch, and the bank is super soft in there. So he keeps sliding and sliding, and he can't quite make it through. So we get him to back up, and I grab my little shovel, and I start digging away at the side of the bank, trying to flatten out the angle he needs to actually exit the ditch, so his driver's side tire doesn't go up as high and kick him over, so we can actually get out. So I dig that all out, throwing some rocks in there, trying to get him actually to be able to come out of this ditch. And eventually we put our minds together a little bit, and I pulled up and I ran a winch line over to the top corner of his bull bar to pull the front of his Cummins down, because he can't actually disconnect the sway bars in that, so he can't. It leans a lot. So with a little bit of help of a winch on the bull bar, we managed to actually get him out and get him out comfortably where he wasn't super uncomfortable. And we didn't have any rollovers, which is what matters at the end of the day, because that would be a much bigger headache than just being stuck. That's a whole other problem. After getting out of the ditch, just around the corner was camp, and honestly, camp did not disappoint. It was beautiful. We had a grand view of some mountains in the background. We weren't right underneath of them, but sometimes just even having them in the distance is fantastic. So I sent the drone up and went and looked around on some of these mountainsides, and it's hard to fathom that these mountains even exist or how they even formed. And for the rest of the night, we just enjoyed some company and had a good fire and relaxed and just enjoyed listening to the wind and the breeze and the birds around us and the crackle of the fire, and waited for morning.
pasta?
Pasta in a box.
Good morning. We've woken up to just a light dusting of snow out here, and quite a bit of cloud coverage has actually rolled in. When I first zipped open the tent, we were just in a cloud of fog. So absolutely beautiful though. Really good way to wake up. I've got camp mostly situated. Sean and Ryan are, well, Sean's not awake yet, and Ryan is, I just seen him outside of the tent. I'll go pay him a quick visit and see how he's doing this morning. But I'm excited for the day, and I'm excited to get out to the coastline and go see what's out there. Hopefully there's less snow. Morning, bud.
Good morning.
How did you sleep?
Pretty dang well.
Yeah?
How about you?
Oh, I slept really good.
Yeah. Woke up to a little snow here.
Yeah, buddy. A little light dusting.
That's great. That's gorgeous out there.
Yeah. I know. I first cracked my head out of my tent at like 7, and we were in a cloud. There was nothing around.
Oh, so it just started?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, nice.
So,
yeah. No, I basically just woke up like 10 minutes ago, and
yeah.
beauty.
Sean,
Good morning, Tyler.
are you excited for the day?
I'm super excited for the day.
Yeah?
It's gonna be fun. You gonna get back around that rock that we came around, which is
Are you excited
a
for
good
it?
time.
Nervous for it?
Dude, I am excited for it. I feel like on the way back it'll be easier. It's always easier on the way back.
Yeah. Well, actually, on the way back to your
That's when you cut to my truck clopping. It's always easier on the way back.
No, but I mean, like dropping into the ditch will probably feel sketchy again, but coming out, you have more of a gradual climb. So
Yeah.
shouldn't be
This
a
truck
problem.
just does not have as much lean ability as I'm used to.
Yeah. Right there. Yeah, your mud flap just kind of folded on that rock back there.
If those trees weren't there, I could drive straight out.
Well, I mean, you could keep going straight a little bit more.
There you go.
Now turn in. There it is. With all of us around that rock now it's time to head back towards Gold River, refuel, and then we were gonna head over the ridge line for the coast. Now my biggest concern at this point in time is it is snowing. It is dumping down snow and the flakes are massive. It's that wet West Coast snow that just is like a skating rink when you get on top of it.
after fueling up in town, we start heading up the mountain, and immediately it is a skating rink. The snow's accumulating. It's about this deep now, and it is coming down.
Yeah, there definitely might be a lot of snow up here in the morning.
The higher we climb in elevation, the deeper it's getting. I gotta put the Jeep into four-wheel drive. And all I'm thinking in the back of my mind is, I really hope this isn't deeper in the morning, because I don't have the biggest Jeep. I'm on 35s on a 2.5-inch lift, and if you got snow up to the bumper, I don't care what kind of tires you have, it's gonna be a struggle. You might not be going anywhere. You're just gonna be hitting a wall. So finally, we dropped down the other side of the mountain, and we all kind of stopped at the bottom. And the conversation all the way down was, what's the weather gonna do for the rest of the day up there, and what's it gonna be like overnight? So we pull over, and we're having a discussion in between the cabs. And Sean's like, well, we're already down here, so we must as well just keep going. Let's keep exploring. And I'm right there with him. I totally agree. We're over here. Let's just make the most of it and have fun. And it is pouring rain at the bottom of the valley, but it is dumping snow up top. So kind of in the back of my brain, what's this snow gonna do overnight? Regardless of that, we push onward. We want to go explore the coast. So on this side of town, I have a route planned out. I had multiple routes out to some log sorts out on the coast. So there was one route that was a little bit closer that would be more of a straight shot, but it went higher in elevation than if we were to take the long way around and double back on the other side of this mountain range. So that's what we did. We drove a couple hours just working our way around this big loop. And as we got closer to the coast, the trail really started gaining elevation, and we started getting into some pretty deep snow again, and it is absolute whiteout up there. We're in a winter wonderland. And I distinctly remember we were coming through a bunch of big dips in the road, and I'm watching Sean in the rear view, and I mean, he's tackling it. That trail BMB is doing pretty good. So it gave me some confidence to just keep pushing and keep headed for the coast. Now, after a while, we got to the summit of this road, and it kind of came up over the top, and we crested right on top of what was a valley off to the right, a little bit more of a bluff off to my left, and it was just snow everywhere. Beautiful. And the sun was trying to peek out. Perfect conditions. At this point, this is where we start losing elevation as we head for the coast. And as soon as I drop down in the road, I'm looking at the map, and the road weaves and weaves all the way down. So I knew we had some like narrow switchbacks, and we're in about yay much snow at this point in time, and it's wet. It's wet snow. So I make the first turn and I stop, and I jump on the radio and I'm telling Sean, hey man, like, we might have a problem here. I don't know if we'll be able to get back up this. It's your call. Like, there's only one road in and one road out of this log sort down here. So after waiting for about 2 minutes, I see Sean appear in the rear view. Like, all right, I guess we're going for it. So I start descending down, and sure enough, it's just switchbacks the whole way down. So after another like 15 minutes of driving in the snow, fortunately the snow basically disappeared, and we had sun starting to come out, transitioned to a little bit of rain, and before we knew it, we were pulling into this old log sort on the coast. There's an old tin building off to the left. We got some docks on the right, a little island off to the right, and massive mountains all in front of us in this big bay.
All right, after a lot of kilometers, we finally made it down to the coast at this old abandoned log sort. This is so freaking cool. Woo. Hopefully we can get out of here.
Dude, look at this island.
Yeah, that's freaking sweet. This must be where they bring all their equipment in.
Yeah, this is definitely active.
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah, look at the fresh tracks.
Oh yeah, I guess so. And that's a pretty new machine there too.
Yeah. Yeah, I noticed all the tracks going up the road there. But the building's abandoned.
Wow.
That one is old and rotten.
Uh-huh. He's starting to grow a tree.
Yep.
There's this like old tin roofed building over here on the edge of it. A little bit of spray paint in here. Oh my god, this thick steel workbench in here. It's kind of an old wooden structure though. An old fridge over in the corner here. Wonder if it's got any goodies in it. No, not really. Okay, well. Yeah, I don't know. Kind of a cool little find. And then right over here we actually have a cat D6. And I can tell no one gets over here because it's actually intact and not vandalized, which is actually really good to see. Yeah, beautiful little spot. I think it was worth the snow. I really hope we can get back up the hill now. Sean's rig's pretty heavy, so we might have some troubles. Hopefully not. I'm just excited to get to camp now though. The sun is trying to break through the clouds so bad. I think camp is gonna top this spot even.
So after about an hour at the log sort, I look at Sean and I'm like, man, are you ready to go to camp? And him and Ryan were both like, yeah, let's get to camp. It's been a long day at this point in time. A lot of kilometers have been covered to even get to this point. And we still gotta go back up this mountain and double back and then drive another couple hours to get to camp, which is more towards the small town of Tassus, which is in the middle of nowhere on the side of the coast. So climbing back up the mountain, I have this gut feeling that something's gonna go bad. I don't know why, I really don't like driving up the side of mountains in the snow. It freaks me out. I've had a couple of close calls where the Jeep or whatever I'm driving at the time has just started sliding backwards because you lost momentum. And that's never a good feeling when you can't control the slide. So there's Ryan that's leading the way out of here, and Sean's in the middle, and I'm at the back at this point in time. And which is a pretty good kind of split up. We did that on purpose because Ryan's Jeep is heavier than mine, and if Sean needs an anchor point at any point in time climbing up this hill, it's better to have the heaviest vehicle as the anchor point. And with me being the lightest, once the two boys in front of me pack the snow down, I have a better chance of actually making it back up the hill instead of getting stuck. And so we start getting back into the snow as we're making the climb, and my heart starts beating a little heavier. I really just want to get back up these narrow switchbacks. And so I get to the top of one of the crests, and this is like the final climb to get back over to the plateau at the very top. So there goes Sean, and I'm just waiting for him to come over the radio and let me know that he's made it. And I'm waiting, and I'm waiting. And finally I hear Sean jump over the radio and let me know he's made it up. So now it's my turn. The snow's been packed down, it's a little bit more slick. The road is pretty narrow, and everything to the left is just a sheer drop off. So I hit it. I start running at this road, and I'm holding on, and I'm hoping I make it to the top.
How well I climbed that hill.
And sure enough, getting to the top, I had all the traction I needed to get out of there. And I was super stoked at this point in time to get out from that beautiful little log sort and be back on top of the mountain where we could actually make it to camp now. I was not in the mood at all to be dealing with a stuck vehicle at this point in time, pulling out traction boards, digging snow in only like a couple inches of snow. That would have been not fun at all, and it would have gotten really cold really fast. So after making it to the top, we start headed for camp. We descend back down off of the ridge line, and we get back onto the main road. And from there, we drive for about 3 hours through the pouring rain, headed for the coast. Now, pulling into the coast, we came through a narrow little trail and we popped out into this little inlet with like a kind of some grass on the road, and you can see where the seashells from the tide have been washed up. And there's a little kind of beach along there, and it's a straight road that comes right along the side of this inlet. So, driving to the end, it's gorgeous. It's exactly what I thought it would be like looking at it from the map.
All right, after a couple hours of driving, we made it into our final camp for the trip, and we're in this little inlet here. Nice grassy entrance, and actually a good little spot to have a couple of vehicles right at the end. So we got a little bit of rain, a little bit of fog, but it's a beautiful way to end the trip on the last night.
Now, after setting up camp, the rain started to come, and the rain was coming in like squalls. It would downpour and then it would stop, and it would downpour and it would stop, and it was just this over and over again. So trying to time setting up the final bits of camp was kind of difficult, because I'd run out there, try and get the diesel heater set up, and then it would pour. So I gotta run back into this little shelter that Ryan brought along. And then when it would stop again, I ran out and try and fry up some burgers. And sure enough, I get halfway through frying up some dinner, the rain comes again. So I run back into the tent and put it away.
All on the wrong side, because the rain is going vertical.
Pretty sure that's our problem.
I invited the mainlanders out for a trip, and the island decided to give them some rain.
Show us
A
what
warm
it's all
welcoming.
about.
It is raining just a smidge, isn't it?
I guess this is when it's camping on the island, huh?
Yes, welcome to the island.
Oh my goodness.
But after all that was done, we just kind of huddled inside of this little enclosure, and unfortunately Sean forgot to bring the hose for his propane fire pit. And so we ended up using his tiger torch, and we're all huddled around this little tiger torch in the pouring rain, and it actually warmed up the tent by a couple degrees, which was fantastic. It's just what I needed. I was soaked. All of the other boys were soaked. And here we are on the West Coast in like sideways rain, some of the heaviest rain I've ever seen, honestly. And we're all around this little tiger torch, having a good laugh, trying to stay warm.
Need my battery. That would make it so much better.
It's just, I put mine on like 10 minutes ago. It's just starting
Next
to
break,
happen.
I'm getting my jacket and my chair battery.
And all will be done.
Yeah.
Good.
I might even get a blanket.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That
A little
is
something to cover the leg.
next level.
Keep the heat of the chair in. I'm super bougie like that.
At this point in time, we decided just to go to bed because it was miserable out. So for myself, at about 2 in the morning, I noticed it got really cold, and so I glanced over and felt the hose for my diesel heater, and I have no heat coming out of that hose, and the diesel heater's turned off. So I tried to refire it a few times, throw in some error codes. I couldn't get it to kick back on. So after that, I decided to just pull the sleeping bag really tight and wait for the morning. Now we fast forward to 5 o'clock, and it's gotten really cold at this point, and I can hear some pitter pattering on top of the tent. And I'm wondering, is that snow outside, or am I hearing things? So I kind of went back to sleep, and I woke up at about 6. And at this point, I couldn't resist the urge to unzip the tent and peek my head outside. And doing so, as soon as I stuck my head out, I went, uh-oh, because it is snowing. And it's not just snowing a little bit, like we got flakes coming down. And so it's like really wet coast snow just dumping down. And we have a couple centimeters. So it's been snowing for a couple hours now. And all I can think is, was all that rain last night on top of the mountains snow? Because if so, we're in trouble, because that is the only road in and out of where we are. There's no other way to connect back to civilization. We can go to the small town of Tassus, but that's it.
Good morning, guys. I'm a little concerned this morning, not gonna lie. That is like my gut feeling. I just woke up and it is snowing on the coast, and it's been snowing for a while now. I woke up to pitter pattering on the tent, and we already have a couple inches, and we gotta make it back over that mountain pass, which was already like 10 centimeters of snow, 15 centimeters of snow yesterday in the afternoon. So all of our rain last night, I'm sure, was probably snow up there, and it's gotten cold enough now where it has dropped to snow down here, as you can see. So we might have a problem this morning, because that is our only way in and out of here, is that mountain pass. It might be a interesting morning for sure. I might go wake the guys up, because this isn't good. This was a mistake.
So I go over to Ryan's tent and I'm like, hey Ryan, are you awake? And I kind of hear him rustle around, and he goes, yeah, what's up? And I'm like, we got a problem. It's snowing. So Ryan unzips his tent and sticks his head out and went, oh yeah, we did get a little bit of snow. You wake up Sean yet? No, haven't woke up Sean. So I walked around, knocked on the back of Sean's camper, and I think it was enough to wake him up a little bit. So I went back over and started packing up a little bit, getting myself ready, and got my camp put away. And Sean kind of woke up, peeked his head out, and went, whoa, yeah, we did get a little bit of snow. Yeah, we did, bud. And so they both started packing up as well. And then the snow started to lighten up. It wasn't snowing as hard, which was a massive relief for me. I just kind of felt the weight on my shoulders kind of loosen off, and went, all right, the snow's slowing down. It's not going to get much worse, I don't think.
Before we leave this amazing place, actually, I just have to say, this has been one of my favorite mornings ever, waking up in camp. With the inlet right here, there's so much wildlife here. It blows my mind. Like, it's hard to find places with this much wildlife all in one spot. Like seeing a whole little ecosystem going with all the sea lions and the ducks and the eagles and a little bit of everything. Can't complain at all. And on that note, we're actually just getting camp packed up to try and take on that mountain pass. See how deep it really is. How are you feeling this morning, Ryan?
My fingers are cold.
Fingers
this
cold?
is very unexpected. It's
beautiful.
Oh, it is, isn't it?
And we should have an exciting day.
I'm so stoked.
Wonder if I'm going to catch the ferry today or not.
What's you, Mr. Sean? How are you feeling this morning?
Fantastic.
Are you expecting this?
I was not expecting this, but I'm not gonna lie, I woke up and I was like, it's kind of beautiful out.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, so I can't complain. I mean, it's gonna be an interesting drive home.
I do feel we may be pushing our luck a little bit.
Oh, I agree.
Well, we've already done it, so no choice now.
This is when I really realized how much snow we have. From the view of the drone, all you can see is just the forest white with a thick layer of snow. So I'm thinking, all right, how deep is this snow gonna be up on the mountain pass? And we start driving back towards the mountain pass. And after an hour and a half or so, we get to the base of this mountain and we start climbing. And as we're going up, the snow's getting deeper and it's getting deeper and we're all sliding around a little bit, trying to gain traction. It's really wet snow. And after what felt like forever, probably about 20 minutes of climbing, Sean comes over the radio and lets us know they've plowed the road, which was, oh, it felt good.
Well, we've made it up on top of the mountain pass now, and thankfully it was plowed, which is a relief. Like, it was just recently plowed, probably a couple hours ago. There would have been a ton of snow up here. Looking at the shoulders, we have like a couple feet up here, so this is really good, and we can actually get home. It was getting pretty slick, and even right now in 4 High, I am sliding everywhere, looking for traction in this wet coast snow. So we will actually be able to get out of here, which is a absolute relief. So I will see you at the trailhead.
And so we just got off the mountain. We kept descending down, and sure enough, after a while, we passed the grader that had plowed the road up there. He's all chained up. So that was a good feeling getting off the mountain. And we descended back down into Gold River, where it was snowing like crazy still. We refueled, and it was time to say our goodbyes and head back for town and celebrate another fantastic trip.
Well, Sean, it's been a pleasure wheeling with you.
You're large, right?
Yeah, I am.
There we go.
Oh, I gotta rock that.
Kiss in the shop.
What did you think of the trip, bud?
That trip was awesome. Thank you so much for taking us. That was
pleasure.
We got it all. We got mountains, we got beaches. What else did we get? Rivers, we got
Snow.
eagles, we got geese, we got sea otters, we got snow, we got sun, we got rain.
Everything.
I mean, what else could you ask for?
Some sun.
We had a little bit of sun.
A sliver.
We had it.
But yes, it was good.
Oh yeah, I'm glad you guys enjoyed yourselves.
Yeah, it was
Thanks
great
for
to
showing
meet
us
you too. Do it again.
Oh yeah, we definitely gotta do it again. Well, I guess it's time to drive 5 hours again.
Yep. Keep on keeping on.
I just want to give a massive shout out to Ryan from Modular Racks and Sean from The Story Till Now for coming out and sharing this epic weekend with me, exploring some rugged places on the West Coast. I hope you enjoyed watching, and as always, remember to take the time to get a little lost. I'll see you on the next adventure.